What's up everyone, and welcome back to The Real Breakdown. We are finally back, guys. Movies are back. It's been a long few months, guys. Obviously the pandemic has put a halt to many things in our lives, and movies is just a minor part of that, but something that I know you guys find a lot of enjoyment in. So we're back. Movies are starting to open up, thankfully with many precautions. As you guys know, I'm a huge AMC guy, so I was not going to go back unless AMC took the right steps to do so. I did want to let you guys know that this video is going to be a bit different because obviously movies coming back, there's a few things we got to talk about. So first off, guys, we're going to talk about AMC Theaters and how the theaters have taken some precautions, what my experience was my first time and second time going to watch Tenet. So just speaking specifically on movies, the question was, how are theaters going to take this? How are they going to handle it? What precautions are they going to take to make moviegoers feel comfortable in coming back? Now, I know that's a touchy subject. There's people that want the precautions there. There's people that think there are too many precautions, just to go to see a movie. We're not going to get into all that, guys. I'm just going to let you know what my experience was and just let you know what you can expect. So first and foremost, I have to say that I watched Tenet the first time on the Thursday that it released, which was September 4th. And the first thing I got to say, guys, is the theater was dead. It was empty. Check this clip out from my Snapchat of what the parking lot looked like. Here we are, guys. It is dead. We are the only ones here, but we're here to watch Tenet. I'm ready. Christopher Nolan. I've been waiting for this movie. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, I was just as surprised. I knew that there were people fearful of going to the theaters again, especially because you're in an enclosed, box with people breathing the same air. So obviously AMC, as they put on their website and as they put on their social media, took many different precautions, wearing masks, changing the filters in their theaters, having social distancing, requiring masks for customers and employees, even though at first they only required it for employees, and then after some backlash they changed it to everyone wearing masks. And obviously better sanitation tools, and obviously their partnership with Clorox, the people from Clorox, to get better cleaning techniques and protocols and all that jazz. So a lot was done, guys. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some of the signage that I noticed that was up walking into the theater. And yes, you have to have a mask in order to come into the theater. So obviously you have things that let you know, hey, be socially responsible. You have to have 6 feet of distance. Obviously letting you know that during the show, masks are still required unless you're enjoying food and drinks. They also play a clip in front of the movie before it starts that lets you know, hey, you have to wear your masks unless you're eating food or drinks. And even after you're done eating your food or drinks, you have to put your mask back on. And if you are going to exit the theater for whatever purpose, you need to put your mask back on. So clearly letting you guys know that it's okay to take your mask off, obviously to eat and drink, but they still want you to put your mask on. Now, I've heard a lot of things as far as, from different people in the movie sphere talking that the reason that theaters are taking these precautions is because they don't want to deal with the liabilities of people in their theaters getting COVID. So, there's been a lot of questions, a lot of things going around, but especially with how the theaters are on thin ice with their industry right now, especially theaters like AMC, which were rumored to be closing down because of COVID, and because of all the money that they owed after refurbishing a lot of their theaters and creating AMC A-List. They're being very cautious because they can't take another blow at this moment. So it makes total sense for them to be very strict on these protocols. Another thing that I saw a signage of was a sign that stated, if you are uncomfortable with your reserved seat, see an associate for assistance or a refund, or you can feel free to move to a socially distant seat after the presentation starts. So essentially what that means is, if you are in your theater, you're in your seat, and you feel that the person next to you or the person behind you is just coughing or sneezing, or you just don't feel comfortable, whatever it may be, you can get up from your seat and move to another seat if you want more distance from you and other people. So that's something I think that was very key because, I thought, well, how are they I know that the theaters are short in capacity, which, by the way, guys, the theaters as of right now are running at 40% capacity from the first and the second time that I went to go see Tenet. So something that, they're letting less people in, so they should have the space to be able to move around. So I'm glad that they are allowing that. So with that said, the first time going to see Tenet, the theaters were pretty bare, pretty empty. I actually had a conversation with one of the managers there. I did ask, what's it been like? First few days open, first week open, what are you guys seeing? And they were honest with me, and they said, you know what, we're not seeing a lot of traffic. The people that are coming in, we're telling them that we're taking our protocol serious. If you're not wearing a mask, we will turn you away. Another thing to note as well, guys, I was told that in certain theaters, depending on the management, you will not be allowed in if you don't have the proper mask. Meaning that if you have a mask that has kind of that filter, not filter, but that little notch that lets air come in and out of the mask, you will not be allowed in, because that kind of defeats the purpose of the mask. That was what I was told at the first theater I went to. At the second theater, they weren't as strict about it. So that's one of those things that I think is just going to come down to management. But something definitely to note is if you are going to a theater and you have one of those masks with the, I'll put a picture of it up, but with that filter, I don't even think it's a filter, it's like an air hole, I'm not sure what it is, you might not be let in. So it's something to definitely think about. I was reassured by the management at AMC that they are taking these protocols very seriously. They're taking the cleaning very seriously because they want theaters to be open again. They don't want to risk having to close down again. So that's something that kind of reassured me a lot, because I was interested to seeing how seriously they were going to take some of these things. And obviously with the theaters being dead, I mean, you can take a look here that the theater that I went into, I bought 2 tickets, and the only other tickets that were there, the only other ticket that was sold was to one other person. So there was a total of 3 people in that theater to watch Tenet opening night, which I think is actually unheard of. But obviously in these times, anything is possible. So those were just a few things. Watching the movie, I felt very comfortable. I was basically the only person in the theater, along with the person I went with and one other person that was in the theater. Honestly, there's a lot of space between people. It's basically going to the theaters, but you have most of the theater to yourself, which honestly is actually really, really good. I prefer that than to having a bunch of people that are talking and chewing and all that stuff. So I felt pretty safe about it, guys. I didn't feel like I was at risk. Obviously, I wore my mask at all times. The overall experience of going to a movie theater during COVID was different, but I can't say that it was bad, and I can't say that I felt uncomfortable. So, those are just my thoughts, my opinions. I was kind of nervous going in there, but once I got in there and realizing how dead it was, how empty it was, and those fears just kind of went away, and I was ready to just be back in a movie theater. So with that said, guys, I just wanted to give you those thoughts on how at least AMC is handling. I know that some other theaters have different protocols, and some of them don't require as many, rules to follow, but that's what AMC is doing. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big AMC guy with AMC A-List. Oh, and lastly, I do want to say, the amount of incentives that I got for being an A-lister and just, an overall AMC goer was amazing. I went to go see Tenet, bought 2 tickets opening night, and only had to pay $2. Why? Because they're giving so many incentives just to get back into the theater, to get you comfortable to be back in the theater. So make sure that if you are A-List or Stubs member or whatever rewards program you might be in, double check to see if they have any incentives for you guys to get back. They're doing a lot of deals like tickets being 30 or 40% off if you go before 5 o'clock. So if you go to a 3 p.m. showing or a 4 p.m. showing, your tickets will be reduced by 30 to 40% off. So check your local listings, check your local theaters, see what they're offering, and if you feel comfortable enough and want to go out and watch a movie and get back into the theater, obviously I've done it, so I feel comfortable saying that it's something you should check out. So with that said, guys, that is it for, just my overall thoughts on going back to the movies during COVID. With a lot of things going on in the world, the movies don't always take priority. So I do just want to say that if you do go out, if you are planning to go to the theaters, do it safely, follow the protocols, let's be responsible, let's protect ourselves, let's protect other people so that we can keep the theaters open. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you in the next one.